Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Valenzuela, nursing student and President's Society alum.
Good morning. My name is John Valenzuela, and I'm a student at LaGuardia Community College. I'd first like to start by acknowledging some special guests. Our host, Gail Mello, president of LaGuardia Community College. Elected officials, Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, Senator Toby Ann Stavisky, Senator Kevin Parker, Assemblymember Vivian Cook, Assemblymember Arvela Simotas, members of the New York City Council, former Congressman Charlie Rangel, former Congressman Reverend Floyd Flake, Bill Thompson, chair of the CUNY Board, members of CUNY and SUNY Board of Trustees, as well as CUNY and SUNY College presidents from across the city and state, our brothers and sisters in labor, and members of the governor's administration. We welcome all of you. I am fortunate to attend one of the best public university systems in the world. At LaGuardia, I'm a nursing major, and I'm a President's Society ambassador. When I graduate, I plan to work in healthcare. I know I could only get there with a college degree. But as a student, I also know the challenges of paying for college. In high school, while some of my classmates always planned to go to college, it was a financial struggle for me and my family. Today, many of us work part-time while in school to help defray the cost of staying up at night, worrying about how we're going to pay our student loans after we graduate. Some of my classmates have been forced to set their dreams aside altogether because they could not continue to afford school. This is why Governor Cuomo's proposal for the Excelsior Scholarship is so important. Thanks to Governor's leadership and the advocacy of students and supporters across the state, hundreds of thousands of young people will now be given the chance to achieve whatever they set their minds to without having to worry about the financial burden on their families and their futures. With this program, we can finally focus on school instead of how we are going to pay for school. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Governor Cuomo, leaders like Senator Hillary Clinton, and everyone who fought to make this a reality and provide a better future for students like me. Thank you very much. Please roll the video.
The rule of the game was everybody has a fair shot at success. That is America.
Parents who never had the chance to go to college themselves, like my mother, dream of seeing their children get that degree.
Society promised mobility. You could do better and your children could do better. And the great equalizer was the public education system. That with a public education, you could go from anywhere and wind up anything. You could be Mario Cuomo, my father, born to poor Italian immigrants in South Jamaica, Queens. And you could wind up governor of the state of New York, all from the public education system.
It is basically insane to tell the young people of this country, we want you to go out and get the best education you can. Get the jobs of the future. Oh, but by the way, you're going to be $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in debt.
College is supposed to help people achieve their dreams, but more and more, paying for college actually pushes those dreams further and further out of reach.
New York State is going to do something about it. We're going to start this year the Excelsior Scholarship.
Governor Cuomo's bold new vision when it comes to higher education in the Empire State.
The governor wants to make college tuition free for households making less than $125,000 a year.
I wouldn't have to worry about being in debt, and I'd put me and my family at peace.
There are so many people that are limited because of the money that they have to pay.
The further I get through my college career and I have $0 of debt, the more I'm appreciative and the more free I feel.
The American dream lives in the state of New York, and no one is taking it away. And that's what this program is all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Andrew Cuomo and Secretary Hillary Clinton.
Good morning, LaGuardia Community College. Are we happy to have Secretary Hillary Clinton here today? Well, it is my pleasure to be back at LaGuardia Community College. We've done a lot of great events here, a lot of great announcements. It is a beautiful college. The students are doing great. The administration's doing great. Thank you, LaGuardia, for hosting us today. Let's give them a big round of applause. It's also a pleasure to be back in Queens. I am a Queens boy, Hollis, Queens. When I travel around the country, they always say to me, "Is that a New York accent you have?" I say, no, that's a Queens accent I have, and I am proud of it. You know, growing up in Queens, I couldn't have grown up in a better borough that gave me a better upbringing, better values, and really exposed me to every issue that I was going to deal with all throughout my life. In Queens, when you grow up in Queens, you grow up middle class, you grow up part of a working family. We're not rich in Queens, but that's okay, because we believe in the future. We believe if we work hard and we use our talents, you can do better. And that's what made Queens, Queens. We believed in the mobility. We believed in the dream. We believed that tomorrow was going to be better than today. And we work hard in Queens, and we play by the rule in Queens. But Queens also knew that that was part of the compact that we had as New Yorkers, that you could reach your dreams, and society would work with you to do that. And part of that is the public education system, and making sure you have a public education system that will take you to the top. But somewhere along the way, that bright light of optimism dimmed. And people aren't as sure anymore if they're going to have the ability to make it up that ladder. Part of it is wages for the middle class stagnated over time. And you look at the wages of the middle class, they've basically been flat for the past 20 years. Part of it is the key to mobility was education. Today, more and more jobs require college education. Since 2008, 95% of the jobs created require some college education, 95%. So you need a college education. At the same time, college is harder and harder to get. It's more and more expensive. You can't go to the family and say, pay the tuition. They can't. You go and you get loans, you graduate with a mountain of debt you pay for half your life. So that's been the issue. And it's an issue not just for individuals. It's an issue for this state and this country. This state used to have the most educated workforce in the United States of America. And that's important. When I'm trying to bring a business to come to New York, you know what they ask me? They ask me, do we have the educated workforce in New York? The state with the most educated workforce is the state that is going to succeed long term from an economic development point of view. New York was number 1 in the nation. Now New York is number 12 in the nation. And it's not just a problem for New York State, it's a problem for this country. This country had the most educated workforce on the globe. Today, we are number 11 when it comes to having the most educated workforce. So it's not just an individual's hopes. It's the long-term economic prospects for this state and for this nation. And we have to do something about it. And we have to fundamentally change the system so that college and growth is available to everyone and we regain our place as the smartest state in the smartest nation, and we are economically competitive all across this globe. So we needed a big idea. And I was at home and I was watching the presidential campaign last election season. Really, I wasn't just watching the presidential campaign, I was actually actively engaged in supporting a candidate in that presidential campaign. This is not a political event, so I don't want to name names. But I was supporting the woman in the race. Let me just say that. And I heard an outrageously ambitious idea, but an irrefutably smart idea. And that idea was we should make college affordable. College should be accessible. College should be free for middle-class families in this nation so every middle-class child can go to college. And it is smart. Look, 70 years ago, we made a decision as a society that people needed high school. And some people said, oh, you're being frivolous. You don't need a high school education. But society said, yes, we do. If you want to continue to grow, you want to continue to educate and prosper, we need high school. And we had free public high school for everyone. And that was a bold step. Well, today, my friends, college is what high school was 70 years ago. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And if we're not going to have it on the federal level, then we're not going to be denied it in New York. And New York State said we're going to step up and we're going to take that idea and we're going to make it a reality, and we're going to make it a reality in the great state of New York. And the idea is very simple. We have free public college for any family who's making $125,000 or below, so no child will be denied college because they can't afford it, and the dream of opportunity is for everyone. And that belief in tomorrow, that belief in mobility, that belief that you can be bigger than your parents, you can do better than the generation before you, that this society will work with you, and that nobody's going to be denied growth and advancement because of how much money they have in their pocket or the color of their skin or the country they come from. That this state and this nation We say the dream lives, and not just the dream of education, but the dream that you can open your arms and you can embrace people from all over the globe. And you can say, we welcome you to come to New York. We welcome you to come to America. Immigrants, educated, income, rich, poor, come join the family of New York, and we will work with you to do better, because when you do better, we all do better. That's the dream. That is the dream. And that, my friends, is what we call the Excelsior Scholarships. Excelsior, because that's the state motto, the motto of New York. It means ever upwards, ever upwards. That's what Queens is all about. That's what the New York dream is all about. That's what the American dream is all about. Ever upwards together, that will make this place a better place. And this scholarship program is going to transform lives. Tonight, there'll be no child that puts their head on the pillow and wonders whether or not they're going to be able to have a chance to make it. We say every child has a chance to make it in our New York. That's what this is about today. And the inspiration for the idea came from a woman who I know very, very well, who I spent 8 years with in Washington. I traveled all across the globe, who was a phenomenal partner in an administration that did great things for this nation with a record of accomplishment second to none. A Secretary of State who was all over the world and brought respect back to the United States. A senator for New York who fought for us, who was there for us after 9/11 when we needed a champion, and went to Washington and got us support so we could do the rebuilding we needed to do in New York. She is so good that if I didn't know better, I would think she grew up in Queens. I'll tell you the truth. Now you give a great Queens welcome to our inspiration and our champion, Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I'll take it. Hello, LaGuardia. Thank you. Whoa. I am thrilled to be here at this community college named for a great New Yorker. He is smiling down today because this is exactly the image that progressive leadership believes in and delivers on. And I am so grateful to my friend and our governor for taking this idea and not just talking about it, but actually making it happen for the young men and women of our state. Now, I didn't have the great honor of growing up in Queens, but I've spent a lot of time here, and I always used to say when I was your senator that Queens was the most diverse county in the United States, which made it the most diverse place in the entire world. Queens is a place where people grow up, where they immigrate to, where they chase their dreams, where they raise their families, make their contributions. It is an example of what we believe is best about New York and best about America. So it is a tremendous honor for me to be here with the governor. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor, my longtime friend who is here. I want to thank your president, Dr. Gail Mello, who is here. I want to thank all the state senators and assembly members. the council members, members of the administration, the CUNY and SUNY trustees who are also here for working with the governor to make this a reality. I want to thank labor leaders and organizers and union members who stand for progressive ideas. And on a note of what they used to say in the Senate on personal privilege, I want to recognize two longtime friends, Reverend Floyd Flake and former Congressman Charlie Rangel. Okay, now really, this is an idea whose time has come, and here's why. If you go back a little over 100 years, in what we called at that time the progressive era, there were a lot of voices speaking out for what we needed to do to provide greater opportunities, more ladders that would provide upward mobility to more people. And what happened in that period, starting in the early 20th century, under, I would say, both Republicans and Democrats, people like Teddy Roosevelt, like Franklin Roosevelt, is that we began to live up to this nation's most fundamental values. We put people first. We helped people get the tools that they needed to make the most out of their own lives, and nothing then or now was more important than education. So here in New York, you had the CUNY system, which was a real commitment to provide free or very low-cost education to people who came from everywhere seeking it. And there is no more important issue than education, from early childhood, preschool education, through higher education. Because I believe every single child and every single young person in New York and America deserves the chance to go as far as their hard work, their skills, their education will take them. So I cannot tell you adequately how thrilled I was when the governor, as you heard him say, took this idea and said it's going to happen in New York. And because of that hard work that he and members of the Assembly and the State Senate put behind this idea, now it is a reality. We decided that it would be affordable because it was a high priority. We decided that it would reach the vast majority of working families and middle-class families, which it will. We decided that it would translate into reality the encouragement that we give to people as they are in high school to go further. And let me make this point because it's a really significant change. Back when I was going to college, I came from a middle-class family. You had a pretty good chance to go to college and afford it if your family's income was in what they say is the lower quartile. In other words, the lower 25% of incomes. A lot of hard-working people, a lot of single-parent families, but they had the chance to go because the economics worked in their favor. States made investments, the federal government made investments. Now, it is so much harder. If you're from the lower half of income when it comes to families. That's upside down, my friends. You know, what we need to be doing is throwing open the doors for everybody willing to work and achieve their education. Now, Andrew Cuomo understood that, and I am so proud that he has produced this. And look, I hope it's the first of many states. I think both Andrew and I would be delighted to have other states say, well, we don't want New York to be the only state providing tuition-free college for the middle class. We're going to do it. But until they do, I want every young person in America to understand, you move to New York, you make your commitment in New York, you can get an affordable college education. I think that would be only fair, that young people would come here, all over the state, not just to New York City, to find the community college that provided the program that they wanted, to find the four-year college and the SUNY system that offered them the best path forward. So I am here today to reinforce what the governor has accomplished. His point is absolutely right. Education and training are the future. And I think it's fair to say it's also the fastest way to give working and middle-class families a raise, right? So the Excelsior Scholarship is going to send a message of hope to countless families. And I hope it will also send a message to employers that they want to start making plans to come to New York, because New York will provide exactly the kind of workforce that the governor has promised. Paying for college should not defer or destroy dreams. And with this Excelsior Scholarship program, it will not. Now, I'm hoping, too, that the Congress will come to its senses and will understand we don't need to be building walls, we need to be building bridges. And the best bridge to the future is a good education, my friends. So let's go make it official and watch as the governor signs the Excelsior Scholarship legislation.